They laughed. Drip, drip, drip. They sang. Drip, drip. I'd been hiding for so long. I felt as though my body would never break free of this position. Spiders welcomed me into their domain, crawling over my bare feet and blood-coated face. I used to hate spiders. Now they were my only comfort. Drip, drip. The monsters leave, not because the Crimson Guard had come for them, but because dawn had arrived. With the light of day, it ushered them out of my home. Mama watched me. Her skin looked blue. I used to think she had pretty eyes, but now the whites were grey, and the blue looked like it bled out from their circles. Drip, drip. Light spilled in from above. I lifted my hands before my face. They were not red as expected. It looked as though I dipped my hands in rust. The blood had dried to a flaking brown stain. The Crimson Guard was still not here. Drip, drip. Night came again. Sick covered my chest and face, mixing with Mama's dried blood. Drip. 3 times the world above the floorboards had brightened with daylight. It was on the 4th day when my saviours came. They came when there was nothing left to save. Drip. I hated them. Drip. Vampires. The Crimson Guard. Drip. They were all monsters. Drip. I hated them. Drip. I. 2. I do love you, Rhory Coleman. It's strange how such words hurt far greater than the physical pain left in their wake. Eamon always seemed shocked when he spoke them to me. His piercing sky-blue eyes would glisten with tears of regret. He would look from his hands to the part of my body he'd chosen to mark during his blackout of rage, and whimper as though he was the one with a body riddled with pain. For such a towering, broad man, in those moments he was more akin to a child looking between their favourite broken toy and the hands that tore it in two. I recognised remorse, I thought, if only for a moment, which made the bitter taste of fault hard to swallow. He never said sorry. No, it seemed Eamon could not allow such a dirty phrase to grace his lips. All of Darkmourn would tell me how kind he was, which made the understanding of why he acted with such ferocity towards me confusing. Kindness caused bruises, broke bones, and drew blood. I couldn't pick up bread from the bakery in town without being told how wonderful Eamon was. Even during my frequent visits to the local medic, they'd remind me about the many great things Eamon had done for them. It was those encounters I found most difficult to hear, when I was forced to lie about how 2 of my fingers even became shattered in the first place. "That is one nasty bruise you've got," Jameson would say, pointing his finger towards my swollen eye. I would smile and exhale the lie with such ease, one would have thought it was rehearsed. The door picked a fight with me and won. Jameson would tut, smile and dismiss it, and no matter how many times I visited or how many ailments I collected across my body, he never questioned me, no matter how ridiculous and fictitious the excuses became. Of course, it was Eamon who left those marks, but I couldn't ever say that, not out loud, and it wasn't because I was scared about what he would do to me. The days of fearing him were long gone. It was what others would say, and how I would be looked at, like a crazed fool for even suggesting Eamon Coleman had such a capacity for evil. No one would ever believe Darkmourn's leader of the Crimson Guard. The man tasked to protect every living creature from the monsters of the world was that very thing to me. My monster. My devil. My husband. But he loves me, I reminded my reflection, which made sense because love had only ever caused me pain. My fingers had only recently